Hello everyone, it's me, New York vocalist Benita Charles, here for another episode of Singing Tips. It's been a little while, it's been about a couple of weeks, so I wanted to come on and give you a singing tip for the week. And I'm going to do something a little differently today. I'm going to deviate from the topic a little bit. I see I have a few people come in. Hello, how are you? I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I'm here for another episode of Singing Tips. It's been a couple of weeks. So last week I had a show with Preacher Man in the Revival. I'm sure you saw all of the pictures that I posted. It was such a wonderful, wonderful show. We had an awesome time. The audience was great. Always have a good time at the Preacher Man and the Revival show. I'll keep you posted of future shows. Oh, hello. How are you? Thanks for the thumbs up. I hope you're having a good weekend. Every week I give singing tips to beginner singers to help them become professional. Now, we've covered everything from your talent, live performance, original music, and we've been talking about your image. But I wanted to deviate a little bit from the show and talk to you about a recent experience I had at an audition. So this tip is going to be about hi Erica, thanks for joining. So this show is mainly going to be about my experience with the audition that I recently had. I auditioned for an event band, and I wanted to share the lessons that I learned from this audition. Oh, hello. Oh, thank you, Uncle Paul. Good to see you. I'm glad you guys are watching. Oh, thank you. Oh, you're welcome. But I wanted to do something a little bit different. I'm going to deviate from the image topic of this week because I wanted to share an experience that happened to me at an audition. Now, I auditioned recently for an event band, and so I had to learn a couple of songs because when I reached out to the producer of the audition, I asked how should I prepare? So she told me that you really should prepare some new songs. We don't want to hear any of the oldies but goodies. If you do, just do one. So I did prepare 3 songs, and I decided to do 2 new songs that I didn't know, and one oldie but goodie. Oh, thanks. Hi, how are you? Thanks for the thumbs up. So I prepared Earn It by The Weeknd, Uptown Funk by Bruno Mars, and then an oldie but goodie, my favorite, Shake Your Body by Michael Jackson. So by the time I got to the audition, I only could do one because they had seen so many people, and so I ended up doing Uptown Funk. But before I go into the audition, I just want to give you some things that happened before the audition. So I prepared for the songs, and I even rented some rehearsal time to prepare because I can't sing out at my apartment, and I needed to go to a place where I could actually sing out and hear my voice. But at my apartment, I would just go over the lyrics and just make sure I knew what I was doing, so that when I went into the actual studio time, I could just rehearse. I wasn't trying to work on lyrics. And I think we covered that in one of the tips in the talent section. I talked about that when you go in the studio, make sure you get in there and you work. You're not trying to learn songs or lyrics or whatever, because time is money in the studio, and you only have, it's a limited time. So I practiced, and but I didn't feel confident. I didn't feel comfortable. So I thought, I didn't like how I sounded in rehearsal. So I had a lot of self-doubt, and I was thinking, you know what? Maybe I won't even do this. So I thought about it. I talked to a few people, and then I felt like, you know what? I should just go, because it's going to be a good experience regardless of what happens. It's definitely going to be a singing tip I can share, however it goes. So I decided, oh, thank you, Kevin. Oh, I really appreciate that. Yeah, definitely going to keep singing. So, but I was just talking about this experience that I had this past week. This is kind of like my singing tip for the week, but I have some takeaways, but I, just want to kind of lead up to it. So anyway, I decided, you know what, I'm going to go. Even though I don't, oh, hi, Lisa, how are you, dear? Yeah, this is singing tips. So I was sharing an experience I had at an audition recently. And I thought that it would be some good lessons for you guys as well, regardless if you're a singer or not. But anyway, so I had this audition and I practiced. I paid for some rehearsal time so that I can, oh, hi, darling, so that I could practice. And I got close to the audition time and I was like, I don't know if I'm going to go. I don't think I sound right. I don't think I'm 100%, blah, 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 blah. I was going through all these changes. And then I said to myself, you know what? I think you should go anyway. Even though you don't feel 100%, I think you should go because I did practice. I did pay money to practice, to prepare. So I got to the audition and I was sitting there listening to the other singers and I'm like, oh, I don't think, I don't know what I'm going to sound like. What am I going to do? And I had this, I call him a saboteur, but I have this saboteur inside of me and it was saying, you know what? Why don't you just leave? Don't even go in there. Just leave because I don't want you to embarrass yourself or I was just feeling like, yeah, I don't think you should do it. But I sat there anyway, and they called me in, and they, by the time I got there, I only could sing one song because, she'd said prepare 3, but they had seen so many people, and it was close to the end. So I ended up choosing Uptown Funk, and the song went well. Like, I had practiced it, I knew it, but, just they had a full band. Like they had brass, they had guitar, bass, and horns, and so it sounded, the song sounded great with all the full instruments, and everybody, it went over well. And that was a lesson for me because I was, I had so much self-doubt and I was feeling like, oh, I don't know if I should do this but I said to myself, I said, you know what, regardless of what happened, it's going to be a good experience. I'm going to learn something from it. I'm going to be able to take something from it. So luckily, I learned a positive lesson. I'm sharing something positive with you. I'm not telling you, oh, it was awful. So I have some takeaways from this experience that I want to share with you because I think it can help someone else. But before I do that, I want to just, there's a couple of quotes that the first one is something that I feel like God gave to me because I shared it on Tuesday. Tuesday is the day that I share inspirational messages. So every day of the week I have a specific thing that I share. So I don't know if you guys remember this, but I shared it. It said, do your best and God will do the rest. So, and actually that's something that came to me. I really feel like it was divinely inspired because when I think about that, do your best and God will do the rest. If you do your part and you do what you can, what's in with your control, God will take care of the other part, the part that you don't control. So, I said, well, do your best. Focus on the things that you can control, and that was me practicing and learning the song, making sure I was prepared, dressed to impress, make sure I wore something that was attractive, arrive early if you can or on time, and then God will do the rest. Once I've auditioned, that's it for me. The rest is up to God. No matter what the outcome, I was just happy that I completed it because I had so much self-doubt and I had this voice in my head telling me, don't do it. Nah, you know what? Just don't do it. And I'm so glad I did. I met some good people. I had a good experience. I even heard some songs that I liked that I thought, oh, I would like to add to my repertoire. So it was just such a positive thing, and I'm so glad I did it. And so I want to share with you that no matter what happens, just see it through. No matter, You know, if you're working on something, if you're working towards something, and you put your heart and soul in it and you work toward it, don't worry about the outcome. Just see it through, you know, because you never know what you can learn from that. And then I have celebrate your success, because, you know, sometimes we get caught up in things and we accomplish things and we don't even take a moment to acknowledge it. And I said, you know, I acknowledge the fact that I prepared for it, and even though I had, oh, hi Tyrone, you're still in training. Okay, well, I pray for you that your training goes well. When will your training be over? I know you've been in training for a while, but I hope everything goes well. Celebrate your success. You know, I was so full of self-doubt, but I decided to do it anyway, and I pushed through that self-doubt, and it was successful. I don't even know what the outcome is going to be. I don't even care what the outcome is going to be. It took so much for me to just complete it that I feel like I'm a success. And I got a positive response from the person who auditioned me, so that was good too. And then I have move on and prepare for your next opportunity. So you can't rest on your laurels. You know, you have to, now that this audition is over, it's time for me to get back in there, get to work, work on my voice more, and because I want to audition more. I mean, that was another reason why I pushed myself, because this is something that I want to do. Now, we've been talking about the show part and the business part. We've been in the show part, but this is partly the business part, because auditioning is something you have to do to get work, to get paid. So we're going to cover that in the business part. Oh, hi, Victor. How are you? Thanks for joining. We're going to cover that in the business part, but I just thought it was important for me to share this with you, to, you know, whatever it is you're trying to do, even if you have that self-doubt, even if you feel like I'm not 100%, I'm not ready, sometimes you just have to go ahead and do it. Now, I saw another quote on Twitter. It's a account called The Law of Attraction, and they always have a lot of nice positive quotes. So this quote says, "You cannot wait for the perfect time, because there may be no such thing. Sometimes you must dare to jump." So when I saw that, I wanted to include that as well, because, you know, sometimes you just have to put yourself out there. You know, you do your best, God will do the rest. Do your best, prepare yourself, but, you know, sometimes you just got to make that leap, especially if you've been preparing yourself. There comes a point where you have to jump. So I just wanted to share that with you. You know, that was such a positive experience for me, and especially with all the self-doubt that I had, it really was a good feeling. First of all, it was a good feeling that I just pushed through, and I didn't allow that doubt to stop me. And I say that to you, even if you have self-doubt about what you're trying to do, you're not 100%, you know what? Go out and do it. You can learn as you go. Your mistakes will help you, know the right way to go. But sometimes, it's never going to be the right time. It's never going to be perfect enough. Sometimes you have to just do it. And so that was a great lesson for me. And I wanted to share that with you to, don't let the fear stop you. Don't let the self-doubt stop you. Push through it. And you will amaze yourself. You never know what you can accomplish if you just go for it. So I wanted to share that with you. That's it for me. I know this is gonna be a short one, but I just really wanted to encourage you to just go for it anyway. Even if you feel like, oh, I don't think I can do it. You know what? Do it anyway. If you make a mistake, you can learn from it. You can pick yourself up and do it again. But I mean, this is a happy ending for me, because I did all the worst case scenarios that was going in my mind didn't happen. It was a positive experience. So that's another thing. If you think about everything about the worst case scenario, what about the best case scenario? What if it's a good thing that can happen? What if something good happens out of it? So, you know, it's always best to think about both sides. If you're like, I'm kind of like one of those worst case scenario persons, but you know what about the best case scenario? What about if it works out? And that was a lesson for me, that, you know, I had all these things in my mind, like, oh my God, and it turned out great. You know, sometimes you just have to go for it. And don't worry about the outcome, you know, especially if you know you're prepared for it, go for it. So that's it for me, because tomorrow I have another special singing tip. I'm going to have an expert on tomorrow. We're going to get back to our image, and we're going to be talking to Miss Roxy Siegel. She's actually my stylist, and she's a hair artist, you know, hair extraordinaire artist, and she styled my CD Moments in Love. So I wanted to bring on, you know, every section I have experts come in. So Roxy is great with styling and clothing, and so I wanted to bring her on and just talk to her about that. So we're going to do that tomorrow evening. So that's going to be another special singing tip tomorrow evening. Back to our image section on style. But today I just wanted to share with you, you know, to just, thank you. Thanks, Aunt Sala. Well, you know what? I really hope that I can share some wisdom from my experience and just encourage everyone that, you know, it doesn't always have to be perfect. You know what? Sometimes just do it. You know, if you notice that sometimes there are people that put stuff out of here, it's not even perfect, but they put it out and they're out there and they're doing it. And, you know, you just have to jump. You just have to do it. So I'm glad that you guys are finding it helpful. That, you know, that's my goal, is to encourage everyone, you know, just go for it. Now, so that was my announcement tomorrow. I'm just going to make sure I have my, I don't know what I did with my other sheet. Oh, here it is. Yeah, tomorrow we're going to be talking to Roxy Siegel. She's a stylist. She does hair. She's a hair artist. I don't know what you call people who do hair. I mean, she's a hairdresser, hairstylist, but she's a hair extraordinaire. She does styling. But I wanted to bring on an expert when it comes to style. I mean, that's something that, you know, I'm still trying to find my own style. But Roxy can help me and everyone about that. So I'm excited about that. This Roxy is our expert for the image section, and we're going to do that tomorrow night. Also wanted to announce again that I started a Facebook group called the Born to Sing Society, and you can join that Facebook group, and it's a closed group, but you know, I share inspirational music messages and show events, and if anyone else has anything they like to post in there, feel free. It's for everyone. I established it so that because I had some people that wanted to contact me regarding singing tips outside of the show, so that's a way that we can stay in touch. We can Facebook each other, or you can post things. I have some friends that's going to be posting their stuff there, so I'm excited about that. I have an email. It's singingtips.bcm@gmail.com, so you can send me an email if you want to contact me that way. Also, these shows are blogged. I have a blog for the shows. If you go to my Instagram, BCM Sings, click on the link. It takes you to the Singing Tips blog. I'm on YouTube. So, yeah, so I have some exciting things coming up for Singing Tips. I don't want to say yet until it's comes through, but there's something in the works for Singing Tips, so I'm really excited about that. So thank you guys so much for joining. I will see you tomorrow night for our Ask the Expert section with Miss Roxy Siegel, stylist extraordinaire. And I hope you have a great evening. Oh, just to give you a recap, so I shared experience today about an audition that I had last week, and just the takeaways, because I almost didn't go through with it, and I made myself do it anyway. I pushed through the fear, and it actually was a great audition. So the takeaways were, number one, do your best. and God will do the rest. So prepare yourself, do all you can do your part, and leave the rest up to God. Number 2, no matter what happens, see it through. If you prepare for something, if it's something that you want to do, you're going for it, just go work through the self-doubt and the fear and just do it anyway. The third point, where is the third point? I got my papers all screwed up. I had a third point. What is it? Oh, sorry. So the third point is, don't focus on the outcome. Just do your best and let it go. Number 4, celebrate your success. Always acknowledge, treat yourself something and always acknowledge your success. And number 5, move on and prepare for the next opportunity. So don't just rest on the last success. Keep yourself sharp by keep moving, keep working, and get ready for the next opportunity. So I hope that was helpful to you. Thank you so much for joining me. Be sure to connect with me at the Facebook group, the Born to Sing Society. And I will see you tomorrow night for the Ask the Expert show with Roxy Siegel. And that's going to be probably like between 7 and 8. So it'll be like later in the evening. So anyway, thank you guys for joining me. And I will see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful evening.